We're going to add more definition in your life on this hour of Call for Help.
I hope these people can help me with my computer. A technician will be with you in 4 hours.
4 hours?
You can upgrade for just $5,000.
What?
The Universal Serial Config Board should be set to ID 6.
I need that in plain English. Help!
Leo Laporte at Call for Help. May I help you?
Is that it?
Hey, how are you? Welcome to Call for Help. Leo Laporte here, Monica Latanwa, Andy Walker. We're ready. Our helpers, our little helpers are here, standing by to help you. As always, if you want to ask a question on the show, best way to do that is to go to our website, callforhelptv.com. We have a form on there you can fill out, and we'll call you back. That way we save your done. Hey, I got something in my pocket.
Oh.
I want to show you.
Are you happy to see it?
You probably have these. You're a geek enough. You probably have these. These are the thumb drives, the hot item now. This is the kind of the geek accessory. Notice this one's on a lanyard, so I can. This is what the geeks are doing now.
I call it the new floppy.
Yeah, exactly. Why? But bigger. This is 512 megs. You can get up to 2 gigabytes
2
of
gigs.
storage, and you just plug it into a computer.
Yeah, on mine
Even
I
I have one of those.
You have one too? What do you keep on yours?
Wow.
What do you keep?
Makeup tips.
Music.
Music?
Music.
Makeup.
Music,
Ooh.
pictures.
Would you hit him for me, please? What do you keep on yours, Andrew?
Everything I've written since 1995.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
When I was doing, actually, that's what I did when I was writing the almanac. My last almanac, that's what I did with this. I kept this. This holds the almanac. And it's amazing. You can get several books on one of these things. That's only 128 megs. Look at this one, though. This is kind of cool. This one has a little thumbprint recognition.
It's the Tom
device.
Rich version.
For people who are really paranoid, it will only unlock if your thumbprint is recognized, or fingerprint. You can use your forefinger like that too. So what you do is you key it to your finger, and then you can't. Nobody can open your data.
Unless they
Isn't that
cut your
cute?
finger off.
Yeah. And what's neat nowadays is, for instance, Firefox. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. They told me.
Is that right?
They said you can cut your finger off, and it won't work.
Really?
I don't want to find out.
It's the heat. It's the heat from your...
Well, it's not on this one, but you're right. Some of them do sense. No, you're absolutely right.
Hot
Some of them do
fingers?
sense. They have infrared in there, and they sense whether it's a live finger or a dead finger. But I mean, you would think. How do we get into this discussion? You would think that you could just take an imprint of your thumb and put it on there like a little rubber thumb. But anyway.
You can...
No, I didn't have. In fact, our producer's saying, did you have a hard time getting in through customs with this? No, actually, I didn't. I probably will have a hard time getting out, though.
Oh.
Yeah, now I will.
Yeah.
Hey, coming up on the show, we've got a good one for you. We're going to talk about cell phone standards. What's the difference between CDMA and GSM? Andy has a great demonstration involving glassware. Plus, Amber MacArthur, our web workshop wizard, is back to show you how to build your own website. Last time she was here, she showed us how to do a blog. We're going to get a little more complicated, show you how to make a real website. If you're a business or you really need a more elaborate site, this is something you're going to want to see. And on today's freeware of the day, if you're a sesquipedalian type, we'll show you how to look up. Oh, no, that's your segment. How to look up things in a dictionary, and Andy's going to show you how to keep your Outlook contacts up to date with a new service. That's kind of cool. That's all coming up. But you know what we do first, most, and best on this show.
Call!
Finally, they got it right. Finally. Who's our first caller today?
We've got John from Whittier, California.
Yay, the home of, I think that's where Richard Nixon's house is. Hello, John. Welcome to the show. Is that where Richard Nixon was born, or just where his library is?
A couple blocks away from Richard Nixon's college.
Oh, yeah. What school was that?
I don't remember.
School of Hard Knocks?
Yeah, there you go.
How can I help you, John?
Well, my computer's been infected by spyware. It crawls, and it's taken over my homepage, and it's just a big...
Oh, I hate that. You know, this has become increasingly the #1 complaint on the internet, maybe even outpacing spam now. These guys have gotten so invasive, so rude, so piggy that they are really close to viruses, I think. In fact, more and more antivirus programs are picking up these spyware programs. I'm going to show you how to get rid of spyware in a second, and really, it can be done. But first, let me define what it is, because sometimes there's a little controversy about whether something is spyware, which is a very negative sounding thing, or adware. In fact, there are companies that have actually sued people like me for calling their software spyware, which doesn't stop me, because if it's spyware as far as I'm concerned. Sue me. Come and get me. So here's what it is. In the early days of shareware software, people would make these great programs, and they would give them away and expect you to pay. Well, it turned out people didn't pay. So just a few years ago, shareware authors said, well, wait a minute, here's another way we can make some money on our software. We'll put ads on the software. Sure, you've seen that, John, where you download a program, it's got a banner ad on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to pay for the software. Very cool. You get it free, and they get some revenue from the ads that you click on, just like a website. Well, in order for that to work, there has to be software installed in your system that will monitor the clicks, otherwise how do they get paid, and update the ads, otherwise there'll be a 3-year-old ad, and so that's adware. That's software that's installed in addition to your shareware program. Well, our good friend Steve Gibson, security expert, started noticing that these adware programs seem to be phoning home an awful lot. No one knew what kind of data they were sending. They're sitting on your computer. They could be sending all sorts of information that you don't want them to send. And even worse, when you uninstall the shareware application, the adware application stays on your hard drive and continues to send that data back to the home office. So he said, this is an adware, this is spyware because it's spying on you. Companies have sprung up like Adaware that have created software just like antivirus software that removes spyware. And I'm going to show you 2 good free programs that I think are excellent for doing this. Now there's this latest thing, and you've got it, that's even worse than that. It's called browser hijacking. And that comes from using Internet Explorer, by the way, John. Stop using Internet Explorer. You'll use Internet Explorer, you'll go to a bad site. It will install software through Internet Explorer, which allows it to do so, that changes your toolbar on Internet Explorer. It changes your home page. Have you noticed this, John? You change it back to what you want it to be and then restart the machine and it goes back to the old one?
Totally.
Yeah. That's not what, how dare they? How dare they? That's a terrible thing to do. So browser hijackers are a little bit harder to get rid of. But everybody who's watching should have 2 spyware programs, anti-spyware programs, that are absolutely dynamite. The first, and by the way, we've got them installed on this machine and we run them all the time. The first one is the original one I mentioned called Adaware. It's from Lavasoft. The website is lavasoft.de. We've got links on our website to all of this stuff, so you don't have to write anything down. And just like an antivirus, it's going to scan my system. Now, before you do that, just like an antivirus, you want to make sure you update it. I won't do the full scan, but this is exact. Look, it's already found at least one error on my system. I'm going to stop that now because we have other spyware. But look at this. See, there's already an error on my system, believe it or not, which is kind of amazing. Now let me show you another one. That's Alexa, by the way, and that's one thing you keep in mind, that there are grades of spyware, and not everything that it says is bad is necessarily something you really ought to watch out for. That one is particular, is just a cookie from Alexa. I don't consider that so bad. This is my favorite. Oops, that's actually a different one. I'm going to show you Spybot Search and Destroy real quickly, and then I'll show you Spyware Blaster. Spyware Blaster is designed to prevent you from getting browser hijacked. Spybot is my current favorite anti-spyware program. Here it's warning me, and I think this is a good thing to know, it's warning me that if you uninstall stuff, the shareware may not work. And that's something to keep in mind, that the shareware is relying on this. This is what I like. This is the immunize feature. It actually blocks you from future infections. So both Adaware and Spybot will scan your system like an antivirus and get rid of infections. If you pay for Adaware, you'll get the immunize feature, but Spybot for free gives you this immunize feature. In both cases, I would always update before you use them, okay? Okay. And then I mentioned the Spyware Blaster thing. Let me open this up again. This is a wonderful program that protects you from getting browser hijacked. Now, before you do this, John, you've got to get rid of your browser hijacking. But this will modify Internet Explorer. If you're going to insist on using Internet Explorer, you've got to use this Spyware Blaster to protect yourself.
What other option do I have?
Well, I would recommend using what we use, which is Firefox. This is the browser. Because it doesn't support ActiveX and VBScript, those are the 2 most common technologies that spyware uses, you're safer, much safer. You can't get browser hijacked. I also recommend this website. In fact, this is what you're going to need to do, because browser hijacking usually has to be dealt with issue by issue, case by case. Go to spywareinfo.com, read their article on hijacking, and follow their instructions on removing your particular browser hijacker, okay?
Okay.
Because everyone is different, and unfortunately neither Spybot nor Adaware do a very good job with browser hijackers. But this will tell you how to go through it What do you use for browser hijackers? Do you use Spy Sweeper, Andy?
Well, I used to use a variety of different things. I used a spyware killer. I also use CW Shredder.
Oh, CW Shredder. Now, yeah, unfortunately, Andy's mic isn't working right now. CWS Shredder, because Cool Web Search is the #1 hijacker, may well be the one you've got, John. They recommend it in here as well. CWS Shredder particularly takes care of Cool Web Search. But the thing is, there are other ones, and so it won't help you with those. So, John, first you got to read this article, figure out what you've got, and then follow the manual disinfection method. Okay?
Great.
John, I'm glad you called, because not only do I want to help you, but frankly, this is, as I said, the #1 complaint right now. And I would bet you more than half of the people who are watching this show have such serious spyware infestations that their system doesn't run normally, it crashes more often, it's slow, their browser doesn't behave as it should. You don't have to put up with that. That's
You should write
spyware.
a book on this.
Get rid of it. I'm going to write a book on it. Gosh darn it. I'll tell you what, we'll put everything I just mentioned on the website, callforhelptv.com. Please go there. Do yourself a favor. Read it and follow the instructions. We'll tell you exactly, step by step, what you need to do. Hey, thanks for the call, John. I appreciate it.
Peace out.
All right. Take care. Peace out, man. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Andy's got marbles in his head, in his mouth, and in his demo. It's all coming up when Call for Help continues. Call for help. All right, I got to find out, why does Andy have all these marbles on the set?
I'm losing them.
Walker in a lab. What? You're what?
I'm losing my marbles.
You're losing them? They're leaking out?
They are.
All right, we're going to talk about cell phone technology.
Yeah, I think people should, know a little bit about what's going on inside their cell phones.
Do people think, should they think about what network technology a cell phone company is using before you buy your cell phone?
No.
Well, I'll tell you, there's one exception.
There is, yes.
And I know because I'm traveling here from the States. GSM is supported worldwide. If you go to Europe,
Yeah.
if you go to Canada, if you go to the United States, if your cell phone uses GSM, in most cases you'll be able to use it. Now, I have a CDMA phone that doesn't work when I travel overseas.
No, that's correct. And so, yes, there are some tangible benefits to using GSM over CDMA,
Right.
purely from a practical perspective. The other thing, in the back of all the CDMA, or the GSM phones, are these
like
little
it.
SIM cards that keep this is your phone number on here.
Right.
So you can move it between phones.
So one of the advantages of something like that is if I get a new phone, I don't have to call the provider. I just take the chip out of the old phone, put it in, my numbers are intact,
Right.
but also I can use a different phone.
But you can absolutely,
Anytime I want.
and you can use an old phone when you go
Yeah.
camping, and a new phone when you.
I suppose there's no technical reason why CDMA carriers couldn't do the same thing, but they don't.
No, they
It's
actually
all
they do.
GSM.
They're developing SIM chips for them. They use them in China, but there's no market demand for them here in North America. On
They don't know-
CDMA
people don't
phones.
know about it yet.
People don't know about them.
Yeah.
But from a technological perspective, there's a very distinct difference between how a phone will transmit data from a phone to
Okay.
a tower.
Let's talk about, so there actually there's other technologies. There's TDMA, and Nextel uses their own kind of proprietary technology, but most commonly you have CDMA,
Right, code division, multiple access.
which is how the data is sent over the carrier.
Yeah, I'm going to show you how that's going to.
And then you have GSM.
global standard for mobile communications. The
Okay.
C's left off.
Not compatible, different technologies. A phone will do one or the other.
Right.
Some carriers do both, but most carriers do one or the other. What
That's
carriers do which in Canada?
So in Canada, TELUS and Bell use CDMA.
Okay.
And Fido and Rogers Wireless
Yep.
use GSM. In fact, Rogers used to be a TDMA technology, and they've moved to GSM.
When I come here, I get Rogers, because I have a T-Mobile phone from the States.
Right.
So immediately I get Rogers. When I get into Canada, I get
They're
off
one
the
of the-
plane, it's Rogers.
It's a roaming partner.
Because it's, yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so let's talk about how those two technologies work differently.
So GSM is a very polite technology, and basically what it does, let's say that these marbles are a piece of data, voice or actual data.
We could call them a packet.
Call it a packet, right? And what it does is over the same frequency, I have my little frequency tunnel here, but it flows 3 pieces of data down there for one call on one tower.
Okay.
And then you're calling on the same tower, and it does the same thing like that.
So it does one at a time.
Right,
One
so
call at a time, then switches over.
8 calls per channel,
Okay.
and it just basically is very polite about doing it.
Switching one after the
Right.
other. Okay.
CDMA technology is very different. It was actually invented during the war, World War II,
Really?
to defeat the Germans
Well,
because they were trying to hack into communication. So it's what's called spread spectrum. So it uses a whole. So these are all various packets
Yeah.
from various callers. What it does is it pushes it all over different radio channels all at once. So it goes this. It goes.
Now wait a minute, that doesn't lose marbles like that, though,
Well,
does
actually,
it?
it does. If it does, then ask for them back.
Oh, so it says resend. I missed
Right.
your marble.
It's very chaotic, and it's.
If you want to see chaotic, wait till the camera guys start rolling on those marbles.
But as a consequence, what happens is you can actually fit more calls per cell.
Ah,
Right.
so it's more efficient.
So it's much more efficient. But then again, so a GSM carrier will have to deploy more towers to give better service.
What's the future?
Well, the future is sort of a combining of all of these technologies. I mean, they're all going to be jumping into a next generation on the CDMA side. It's called, I don't remember exactly what the technology is, but on GSM, it's Edge. And this is all about data. And ultimately, they'll all merge into one
Voice and data
standard.
doesn't matter. It's all going down the same pipe. Okay.
Exactly.
So there you go.
There you go.
GSM, neat, tidy, friendly. CDMA, messy, but fast. And actually, everything's moving to CDMA. Even the GSM carriers are going to start carrying their data CDMA over GSM, I think. I mean, there's some advantages. Oh, Andy disagrees. We'll find out on our next episode of As the Marble Spills. Thank you, Andy. Time to take our quiz. Here's your chance to test your tech knowledge. Our question of the day: when text messaging, what does RMB stand for? Rub my belly, ring my bell? I don't know this one. Retourner mes bagages, or read more books? I like retourner mes bagages. All right, we'll return in just a little bit with the answer. It's call for helps. Continue.
Continuez, c'est ça. On y va.
Welcome back to Call for Help. Let's take another call. Monica's got one lined up, I believe. Ms. Latanwa, what have you got for me?
We have Michael from Yuba City, California.
You ever been to Yuba City?
No.
Have you ever been to the States?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but not Yuba City?
No.
Oh, it's beautiful there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Actually, I've never been to Yuba City, so I don't know.
Let's ask Michael.
Let's ask Michael. Michael, how's Yuba City these days?
It's great, Leo. We've got great weather here. We love it here in California.
Yeah. What part of California is Yuba City in?
It's just north of Sacramento.
Oh, so you're up north in the northern part of the state?
Right,
Yeah.
between the Sacramento River and the Feather River.
Oh, yeah, see, I'm telling you, that's pretty country up there.
You betcha.
Two rivers run through it.
Right on.
Yeah. So do I know you, Michael?
Well, I help you out on your notes. We've never got the chance to talk before.
I thought that was this, Michael. Michael keeps it. I do a radio show on the weekends in Los Angeles, and I couldn't do it without Michael. He writes down things as I say them, because I never remember them, and we put them up on the website for the radio show, which is leoville.tv. Go figure why that is. Well, thank you, Michael, for your great help. I'm glad I could get you on the show. That's
Well,
great.
thanks for the inspiration and all the knowledge that you've given us, and we're glad you're back on the air, although we wish we could see you down here in the States.
Someday. We're
Okay.
doing, we're doing everything we can to find a home for the show in the United States as well. In fact, all over the world, there are lots of, this show was very big in Australia and New Zealand. I used to get letters from the Middle East.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, people. There was a Call for Help fan club in Bahrain, and they got a big screen TV, and they had like 20 of them would sit and watch the show. So we're going to call your local cable operator, say, hey, bring back Call for Help. What can I do for you today, Michael?
Well, I listen to your show on the weekends, the Tech on KFI,
Yep.
of course, and
Yes.
You inspired me to get a couple of websites. Multipleplatforms.com is one of them.
Oh, let me see. What is that covering?
It's a beginning to intermediate website for computer users of all platforms.
What a great idea.
Yeah, well, you kind of inspired it.
There's my picture.
I put it together using Microsoft's Front Page 2003.
Okay.
Even though I'm primarily a Mac user.
Okay.
And one of the things I've been having problems with is I can't get simple commands like go back to the top, bookmark this page to function in all the browsers.
That's right, because they're using JavaScript. Let's look at your page. Let's look at the source code of your page, because sometimes that's helpful to see what, Front Page is what they call a WYSIWYG editor, which means you'd use it like a word processor. You don't really pay any attention to the underlying output. But believe it or not, this is the garbage it's spitting out. To make this nice, clean, pretty page,
right.
takes all of these commands. Now, one of the problems, and this is actually, I think, a problem with front page, is front page is very reliant on JavaScript. That's a programming language, and you see all of this is JavaScript right here. That is, it's not HTML, and the problem with JavaScript is it's not a standardized language. Netscape created, it has nothing to do with Java, by the way, just only related in name because Netscape wanted to capitalize on the success of the Java language. And so it's because Netscape did a lousy job with the language specification, every browser interprets JavaScript differently. And really good JavaScript will actually, and I notice this doesn't do it, will actually say, well, if this is Netscape, do it this way. If this is Explorer, do it this way. If this is Safari, do it this way. You have to, because JavaScript is completely wide open. Anybody can do anything they want with it. I have to say, I'm not crazy about front page for this and many other reasons. It's
I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, it's very hard to take a front page designed page and then use any other editor because front page is so, yeah, it's Microsoft. It's proprietary. What a surprise. So here's what I would suggest you do. Abandon front page. Download Mozilla from mozilla.org. It comes with the old Netscape Composer. It's actually a very good WYSIWYG editor. It's free.
I've used it. Okay.
Well, I would start working in that on multiple platforms, and what you'll notice is that it will have a lot of little weird blocks of code where it says, I don't know what to do with this. Those are the JavaScript things. Cut those out. Cut those out. And then some things like bookmark this page you shouldn't have in there anyway. That's a JavaScript command that goes and talks to the browser. And frankly, I don't think you should do that. You could say press Command D to bookmark this page or something like that.
That's what I tried before.
Go to top is very easy. You just use an HTML anchor. Why they use JavaScript to do something like that is beyond me. So use more. I think if you use a more standardized editor, I use Dreamweaver, which I like a lot, but if you use a more standardized editor, you're not going to have these problems.
So as a Mac person, I'd probably be fairly comfortable with Dreamweaver?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the only thing that you'll be uncomfortable with is the price. It's $300 US.
Okay. Well, that's why I use front page, because it came as part of the package that I got when I became a partner, thanks to Kevin's start tip on the screensaver.
Oh yeah, you got that the free Office. Well,
I'll tell you, exactly free in the long run.
I know you're going to get a lot of contacts from Microsoft. I would recommend Composer only because that is also free. See how that works out for you.
Great,
okay?
Thanks for your help, Leo.
Michael, thank you for your help. Couldn't do it without you. You can catch Michael's great work on my show notes at leoville.tv. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, bye.
Take care. He listens to the radio show. That's cool. All right, coming up. Oh, let's do it right now. Free file of the day. You ready to do it? Come with me. Walk this way. Oh, Andy's here with a free file of the day. What is our... Oh, look, marbles left lying around. These could be dangerous,
That's
kids.
from my ear.
Don't do this. Oh.
It's from my ear.
Is it your marble? What do you got for us today?
I am awful about keeping my contacts up to date in Outlook. I am awful about it. So I love this new program called Plaxo.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I get a lot of requests to update your contact information from them.
Yes. Now, there are privacy issues with it, but let's have a look at how it works first, and then we'll talk about perhaps the problems it has. Plaxo is a plugin for Microsoft Outlook.
Okay.
So what it does is it basically looks at your address book.
Oh, so it's added something to the menu bar. I see, yeah.
So it's added something to the menu bar here. And I can say, go into my address book and send everybody an email and say, can you please update your information for me?
That's actually great.
Which is a really great thing, because you get other people to do your work.
Right. And then it's automatically added to my address book when I get that message back from them?
Right. So when they confirm the information, it's automatically updated to the Outlook address book. Exactly.
Now, it's going through the Plaxo server to do that, yes?
Yes, it is.
What's Plaxo's privacy policy? Are they pretty good? They say we won't contact these people, we won't use the information?
Their business relies on the fact that they have to be.
It has to be.
And so they swear up and down that they're going to be, that they're going to be as private with your information.
So you trust them?
I personally do. I know that you...
Well, no, actually, I'm actually glad to hear that, because I do get all these Plaxo requests, and I ignore them because I don't know who I'm sending my information to. So if you say it's okay, I'll believe you. Okay, so from now, I'm going to respond when I get your email saying, give me your information. Because I hate to give anybody my information.
I want to show you real quickly maybe it's gone. The email that you get. Basically, you get an email from me that looks like, hey, hi, it's Andy here. And
in fact, you can personalize that message.
You can personalize it. And also, it inserts some marketing messages. Hey, you can be a member too.
Can you take that out?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And I can actually do it. Praxo is free if you'd like to
all
give it a
that
trial.
crap out.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we don't want to see that.
Delete.
So you might want to personalize and make it more, say, hey, hi, this is Andy. Remember me?
Yeah. I basically said, when I came back from California, hey, I'm back in California. I'm doing this new TV show, and can you update me? Because,
Where can I get Plaxo?
You can get it at Plaxo.com.
And it's
free!
Yeah, it's a free file of the day. Time for a short break. When we come back, more from Amber MacArthur, our web workshop. We're going to show you how to get started with your very own website. You stay right here. Should I throw this? Mm-hmm. All right, hey, come back here. Hey.
With my computer.
All right, maybe you want to put your dad's ferret pictures up on a website, but now he says, hey, I'm ready for a business. We got to set up ferretsforyou.com. You can't use that GeoCities site anymore. Web guru Amber MacArthur is here to show us how to get a little more advanced on the web. Hi,
all right,
Amber.
hi.
Now, last time you were here, we did blogging, which
Yep.
really is the easiest way to get a simple site up.
It really is the easiest way, especially if you want to communicate with
Right.
other people and get people to post things. But if you actually want to build your own website and you don't think you'll be updating it very much, it's good to go out there and just start small and build something really basic.
So where do we start?
So today we're going to talk about the 4 things that you need to build a website. And we're not going to go into too much detail, but at the end, if people aren't ready to actually go and build their own, there are also free services such as GeoCities. And we're going to do a little demo of GeoCities.
Okay. And we'll go in more detail as Web Workshop goes along and all
Exactly.
these. So what are the 4 items that we need?
Okay, the 4 items. One is web space.
Web space.
Web space.
Somebody to host it.
It's someone to host it. And before you go and buy web space, you should actually check with your internet service provider. You should check with Simpatico or Rogers, because a lot of them will give you free space with an email account.
Right.
So that's the first step to do. And then if you don't have one with them, then you should go and get web hosting.
Very important to understand. I think people sometimes are unclear on this. You don't host it on your own computer in your house.
No.
You might create the site there, but you have to put it on somebody else's computer.
Exactly, and they store it.
And they store it and serve
Exactly.
it because
They
they've
serve
got
it.
all the bandwidth and all that.
Exactly. So what you do is you upload your files from your computer to their server, and then they host all of it.
Got it.
And then the next thing we're going to talk about.
Step 2. That's step 1. Step 2?
Step 2 is a web editor. And you can use a web editor or write your own code.
That's what we were talking about with Michael. Now, he
Exactly.
uses Front Page. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings by saying I'm not fond of it.
No, you didn't. Don't worry.
Dreamweaver is what I use, a lot
Yep.
of pros use, but I think Netscape Composer is fine. I mean, there are a lot of good choices out
Yeah,
there.
there's lots of good choices, and actually later on in another workshop, we're going to do a demo of Mozilla.
Oh, good.
So we're going to do a demo of the Composer component of that.
Oh, great. Okay.
So that will be great. Or you can write your own HTML, and we'll get into that actually in the 4th workshop.
Okay, so that's the first 2 steps. You get a web space,
Yep.
and you have to have an editor so you can create
Exactly.
your content.
And then a graphics editor. So most people want images on their site, so you want some way to manipulate those images.
Pros use Photoshop.
Pros use Photoshop, but that runs around, say, $900 Canadian. So you may want to try to find something different, like Picasa, which is free and is offered by Google.
Right.
And then the 4th thing you need is a name. So you need a name for your site, and that's the URL for your website.
Yeah. Now I have leoville.com. And so, how do I know how I got it, but how do you go about getting your own?
Actually, we're going to do a little demo, and I'm going to go to register.com.
So this is what they call a domain name registrar.
Exactly.
And there are lots of them.
There's lots of them, and some are cheaper than Register, and you can look around.
Register's good, though. Yeah.
It's good. So let's say if I want to try to find ambermacarthur.com. So I click here. And this is a way that you can come in and you can check to see if your URL is available. So this is really like buying real estate on the web.
Now, looks like somebody's got it.
So someone has it.
Probably you, I hope. Is it you?
No.
Oh, no.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Oh, man.
But I'll check. Let's see.
Sorry, somebody has leolaporte.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wasn't fast enough.
Amber's going to be
unfortunately.
gone, too.
Yeah, Amber's going to be gone.
Yeah.
So let's try something that might be available, I think.
This is part of the problem right now is that because the .com domains are so popular, the 3- and 4-letter domains are all gone.
Exactly.
But if you get, clever enough, I think you'll be able to.
Exactly. You can always find a name. There's lots of combinations
Web
out there.
Workshop's good,
Yeah.
Now, when it comes back and says you can
There you
register
go.
it,
Yep.
what's next?
So then the process is to actually go through and commit to registering your name once you pick your name, and then you pay an annual fee to actually register it.
Okay. How much is that going to be?
I think with register.com it's $35 US for the year. And one thing to remember is to always renew your registration. A lot of people forget to do that.
Some of the registrars offer automatic renewal.
Exactly.
I did that because once I forgot, and your domain stops working.
Exactly. So you should definitely remember to register your domain after when the time is up. So those are the basics. We'll get into into this a little bit more
We'll
later.
do more detail later,
Exactly.
yeah. And if real quickly people don't want to get too elaborate, they can use one of these free sites.
Exactly.
Before you go too crazy, you might just want to try something like GeoCities.
Exactly, and I actually built a little site on GeoCities, so you start to get in. You start with getting a Yahoo
click.
account.
It's very simple.
It's very simple. So you go in, and it's a WYSIWYG editor, so that's what you see is what you get.
Right.
And you go in and you manipulate the text and move things around. You can upload images and those types of things. So it's really, really, really easy to use. So I built actually a little website. Where it might be relevant is, for example, my mom's having a big birthday celebration in October, so I was thinking of building a site
That's
where
great.
people could go and check out the information and get links to different activities happening. So it's really easy, and you can change the templates really simply.
So that's kind of an overview of what's required. You've got to have a web host. You've got to have web editing software.
Exactly.
A domain name.
Yep, and graphics
And
editor.
graphics editor. We're going to go into all of that in more detail in future
will,
web
for sure.
workshops. But just to give you the survey of now, what I hope that people will do is get started and start doing a website as we work
Definitely.
along. Follow along with Amber. So maybe you should start thinking about those things. We'll
Yeah.
help you do it in more detail. And
For
of course,
sure.
if you've got a question for Amber, or you got a website you'd like her to review, because
Yep.
she's going to work on usability with a lot of our viewers. Amber at Tech TV. I'm sorry, Tech TV. Call for Help TV. That's an old one. Callforhelptv.com. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you very much.
That's great. Time for a short break, as long as that's okay with you, Governor Schwarzenegger. And when we come back,
Goodbye.
yeah, thank you. More of your calls on Call for Help. Stay right here. We'll talk about that, privacy. We were talking in the break about privacy. It's very important when you register your name. People don't realize this when you register the domain. Your address, your phone number, whatever information you put in there for the registry is visible publicly unless you use a service that hides it, which I do. But I think a lot of people don't realize that, it's easy enough to find some of these domain names just doing maybe I shouldn't be saying this, doing a whois search. Let's go. Forget I mentioned that. Let's just get another caller on the air, shall we? Monica Latanwa?
Yeah.
You got a caller for me?
Yes, we do. We have Sean from Brampton, Ontario.
All right. Hey, Sean, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well. I saw that you had a Gmail account, one of those Google Mail accounts.
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's really good.
You like it?
Yeah, tons of space. It's amazing.
How'd you get it? Isn't it hard to
I
get?
know a couple people who have
see,
it already, and I
you have
got an
to be-
invite from them.
You have to be invited, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy, you got one. I got one. Monica's got one. All right.
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No.
Didn't I send you an invitation?
No. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Never mind.
Yes, you did.
Forget I mentioned it.
No, I
what
forgot
can we
it.
do? What can we do for you, Sean?
Well, I'm just wondering. FutureShop just recently released iPods, and they have the iPod Mini, which is 4 gigabytes, and the regular iPod, which is 15, and they're the exact same price. And I'm wondering which one you think I should go for.
Well, this is your kind of real. It's a question of style versus substance, I guess.
Okay.
I personally would go for the larger, for the same price. Let me do iPod correctly. I would go for the larger hard drive, but
Yeah.
people love these little iPod minis. So you're saying
there's
now,
no
let me just look at the
difference in
prices.
hardware or anything?
So the 15 gig iPod is $349.99.
Yeah.
And then the mini is $419.
Exactly.
Well, okay. So and let's emphasize this one more time. That the $349 product, this is Canadian,
Yeah.
has a 15 gig hard drive,
Yeah.
and the $419 product has a 4 gig hard drive.
Exactly.
So how does Apple justify that? Well, this one's silver. That's it. It's
So
silver.
there's no other difference.
Yeah, it's smaller.
Yeah.
People, this is totally about looks and style. Now, I have to say, if you've ever held an iPod Mini, go into FutureShop and hold one. They are really sexy. I mean, they're small. The great metal case. They come in 4 colors, not just silver. There's a I can't remember all the colors, but they're really quite beautiful.
Yeah.
They don't hold a lot of music. On the other hand, let's say if you're a runner or something, I mean, they're small enough. They come with a wristband. You could put them. I mean, you wouldn't do that with your regular. I have a regular iPod right here. I'll reach down here. You wouldn't really strap that onto your you'd look kind of silly. But a little mini is about, it's about half as deep, and it's about half as wide, and it's about so it's a lot smaller, and it's just sexier looking. But I'll be honest with you. I mean, to me, I'd rather have this is a 30 gig iPod, and I pay less than that mini costs for this thing. So I would say, if function is number one to you, get the bigger one. If beauty is what you're looking at, the mini is very pretty. You hold it and you might fall in love with it. I thought when they came out with this,
drop in price.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
As long as people continue to buy them at this ridiculous price, I don't think they will. I thought when this came out, I laughed, I mocked it. I said, that's ridiculous. This is, you can get a Dell for half that price with a 10 gig hard drive in it. Why would anybody pay that? Was I wrong? This is a bestseller. People love this.
Yeah.
But it's totally about the looks. And, maybe some people aren't sophisticated enough to know the difference in size and all that, or they don't look at the other prices. But if you want a lot of music, this 15 gigs is going to hold almost your whole library. What is this, the Grammys? This is only going to hold about, I don't know, 4 gigs. That's about 400 songs.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thanks, and it's great to see you back on the air.
It's great to be back on the air. Thank you, Sean. Keep watching.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Coming up, a quiz of the day, and we're going to have more with Andy and Monica and more of your questions. But here's our quiz right now. When text messaging, what does RMB mean?
Rub my belly.
Ring my bell. Or tell me bagage. Or read more books. Get to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it when we continue with Call for Help. Our quiz question of the day, when your text message, I don't know this, I'm not an SMS fanatic. What does RMB stand for? Rub my belly, ring my bell, and I'll guess. That sounds right to me, but read more books. I'm going to say ring my bell. Ring my bell. That's right!
Ding, 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 ding.
There are so many acronyms when you're text messaging. Nobody knows what any of these.
I do.
You know them all, Andy? Do you do text messaging?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I prefer that actually over phone conversations.
You did. I remember when we first met, you were going to walk home at night late, and I was worried about you. You said, well, don't worry, I'll text message you when I get home.
Yeah.
And it worked. She sent me a message, and I felt much better about it.
Yeah, I just think sometimes it's more convenient for people.
It's just more
if
instant.
someone's in the middle of work.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you, so just send me a message.
Yeah, and plus it gives more time for someone to think about a response instead of you getting caught off guard, stuff like that.
So, because in the States, because we're all on different networks, it hasn't worked. Text messaging hasn't really taken off.
Oh, okay.
It did with American Idol. American Idol made the whole text messaging.
Yeah, because you voted by text message, right?
You know what? I did not know any of these things, and everyone was getting into it here in Canada a few years before they did in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
So I started a site, smsglossary.com.
Oh, so Annie knows what it all is. smsglossary.com.
Yeah.
I got to check that out. See, Annie knows this stuff.
Hey, you know what? I'll feature it on one of the shows.
Hooray!
There you go.
Hooray. We can have a quiz.
Thanks, Mark.
But now it's time, speaking of definitions.
The Philippines is the text messaging capital of the world.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's huge. Well, in fact, revolutions have been started and ended with text messaging. In fact, I think, remember when there was a little revolution going on in the Philippines, a little coup going on?
Yeah.
There was a little text messaging going on, and that's how they organized people, demonstrations, all that stuff.
Yep.
In Britain, everywhere.
Yep.
It's huge. So, anyway.
Let's get back to
what's
work.
Monica's pick? We got to get a name for this.
I know. Email me. Give me ideas.
Please, we need a name.
We're so out of ideas.
Latanwa's something. That's never going anywhere, is it?
Oh, people
what do you
so
got for us today? What do you got for us today?
Okay, I've got a couple of extensions that do pretty much the same thing, but there's just a slight difference between the two.
We've been doing Firefox extensions.
Firefox extensions.
Okay, so these are things you can add to Firefox that come from Mozilla.org.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So again, just to remind everyone, you can find more extensions and themes either through your bookmarks, there's a couple of sites there, or through your tools. If you go to extensions, again, get more
These
extensions.
are the ones you have
it'll
installed,
open up sites for
and
you.
then get more, it gives you more. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So let's see some.
The ones I'm featuring today, the first one is called Dict, D-I-C-T.
All right.
Okay.
Short for dictionary, I'm guessing.
Dictionary.
Okay.
And let's say, I'm just on your site here, Leo. Let's look for...
I don't use big words on my site.
Commentaries.
Well,
let's say, I don't know what a commentary
So how would
means.
you figure, how would you look that up?
Highlight the word and right-click on it. and then define commentaries.
Oh, that's neat.
And it doesn't use the HTTP protocol, it uses the DICT protocol.
So it goes to a
it
dictionary
opens up a
server.
new window. Yeah. And there you go.
Oh, that's wonderful.
La 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 la.
That's from Webster's.
Yeah.
That's a
And
nice feature.
It is. It's very nice. Or the second extension is
Yes.
called Dictionary Search.
Uh-huh.
And same thing, you can right-click on the word and Dictionary
But that
Search
one,
for
how's that
commentaries.
different? How's that different?
It'll actually open up a new tab
So that uses
and
the web.
bring you to dictionary.com.
Got it. Okay. I
And
like the pop-up one.
I like that too.
Yeah.
So there you go. And I just want to show you one theme.
There are so many pretty Mozilla themes. Which one do you?
Today I want to feature pinball.
Pinball. Let's see that.
Yeah, pinball's cute. It's got
So the way you get these is
beveled look.
You'll go to the site and then you'll press the install button and then it changes your toolbar.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Like it a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Press now. Does it change also? Yeah, it changes the throbber, the little icon in the upper right hand.
Yeah, it changes almost everything.
That's
so
really
that's
cool.
that's cool.
So you're like pinball. Is that the one you've been using lately? I use Cube.
I change it once a week, just to keep
Why
things
not?
fresh, interesting.
Why not?
Yeah.
Thank
anyway.
you, Monica. Details on our website, callforhelptv.com.
Yep. And if you have any ideas of interesting websites, things you want me to feature, email me, Monica at callforhelptv.com.
That's the address. Now let's get another caller on the air here.
Yes, we've got Malcolm from Brantford.
Let's talk to Malcolm. I'm going to run over to my home base here. Hello, Malcolm. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Leo.
So I understand that we had you scheduled for an earlier show. We didn't get to you, and you were upset, huh?
Just a touch.
Well, I'm glad we could get you on now. It's because I talk too long, Malcolm. What can I do for you?
I was wondering, I used to have the option open with. I can no longer get this when I click on a file. It doesn't give me the open with option.
What version of Windows are you using?
XP Pro.
Okay. In the open with, in pre-XP days, you would click on a document and then hold down the Shift key. You had to hold down the Shift key to add the open with menu to the pop-up. You'd hold down the Shift key and then right-click. Now, because Microsoft realized that was such a popular command, they've actually built it in now. All you need to do is right-click. What Open With allows you to do is instead of opening a file with the default application, in this case, Windows Picture and Fax Viewer, I could choose other applications capable of opening such files, or I could choose a program. So you don't get. So when you right-click on an icon, you don't get that menu at all.
I don't get. I had it before.
Yep.
Something.
Well, I'll tell you, it's in the registry. If you ran a registry cleaner lately, maybe. Spyware remover.
Probably.
Yeah. A couple of things you could do. You could try a system restore. If you've got System Restore turned on, you could back up out of it. I'll tell you how you can see what happened is in the registry editor. Have you ever played with regedit?
Well, I had Norton System Works, and I wanted to take it off.
Ah, that could have been
my registry to get.
That's probably what happened. So here's what you do. You go Start, Run, type regedit. Regedit is a program to modify something you're really not supposed to play with at all, which is the Windows registry. It's where it's actually two files where Windows stores all of its settings. And regedit gives you an interface to it. I'll show you where the open with key is, and you can see if that's what happened. It's right at the very top. H key classes root, which you don't normally go into. See this asterisk? These are the contextual menus. This is the list of programs that are by default in open with. And then under shell X, because it's a shell extension, context menu handlers, you should have an entry for open with. If you scroll down a little bit, you should have an entry for open with. If that entry's gone, then that's what happened, Malcolm. Something, maybe you, accidentally deleted it from the registry.
Okay.
I can't explain it, sir.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be from Scotland by any chance, would you, Malcolm?
How could you tell?
I love my heritage is Scot. In fact, I'm a Dunlap. That was my grandfather's name was Gordon Dunlop.
Oh.
So I have a great fondness for the Scots. Thank you very much. I don't think Handel was Scottish, but maybe.
I think so.
It might have been. So I guess what you could do, I hate to say this, but I guess you could find a version of Windows where this is intact and copy this and paste it back in. What you need is this really weird number. This is the CSL ID, the class ID for it, and it's a unique number for the extension. I'm not going to bother reading it to you on television. But if you could find that in another working version of Windows. And one way to see, by the way, Malcolm, if this is something that's global or maybe just to your account, is create a user account, log out, and log back in. Andy says he has something to say about this matter.
I was just searching Google, and I found there's actually a Microsoft knowledge base article all about this.
About missing open with?
Yes, it says open with command missing from the context menu.
What's the number of the article?
218805.
218805. So, Malcolm, you know that you can go to the Microsoft knowledge base by going to support.microsoft.com and entering in that number, and it'll explain what to do.
Okay.
So say the number again, Andy.
218805.
218805, and we'll put that in the show notes, but that'll take us a little while to get in there. That is really interesting. So does it say how that happens? 218805.
It says this behavior can occur if the registry key that handles the command is altered or damaged.
Well, that's what happened.
That was
but did they say how to fix it? No.
Yeah, no. It has the edit area.
Oh, you could actually put it in.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you go, right there.
Okay, so you could put it in.
Yeah.
So Malcolm, that's how you'd fix it. That's what happened. There's your answer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad you called. Keep watching, will you?
I certainly will. I always watch your show.
Oh, thank you. Take care.
Thanks again.
Still more to come on Call for Help. Stick around, my friends. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Welcome back to Call for Help. It's time for, wasn't Malcolm great?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. It's time for some of your last-minute questions.
He was great.
He was great. We're all talking like this now. I have to watch myself. I could get in trouble, couldn't I? But I come from Scott's background. So we have a couple of questions before we wrap this baby up. This is from Scott, who is from Markham, Ontario. And he says, how hot is too hot? Now, actually, I want Andy to answer this, because I've wondered. For the temperature of a microprocessor, a CPU, he says he's having a lot of overheating problems, and he's wondering what temperature should... Now, a lot of times you can go into the BIOS and you can see how hot it is, or you can run Motherboard Monitor and another monitoring program that'll tell you how hot. How hot is too hot, would you say? See, part of the problem I have is I do all my temperatures in Fahrenheit. Yes. So I don't know how you would do it in centigrade.
I don't know what the actual temperature is, but all I know is that if your computer's running too hot, it won't start.
Right.
Because if your fan's down, or you have a faulty system.
Yeah. The old rule of thumb was if you can touch the processor and not burn yourself, but you can't touch them anymore. They have heat sinks. Generally, I mean, you'll look if you go to AMD or an Intel site and you look, they'll tell you, oh, don't run it past, I think, 50 degrees centigrade. Or 60. I would say 40 is kind of the upper limit. If you start seeing anything going past 40 degrees centigrade, you're
body
kind
temperature.
Yeah, you're kind of, what is 40? Is that about 100?
You're talking about 40 Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit. No, centigrade.
40, yeah, that's double it and add 30, so 80, 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
There you go. Well, maybe I'll say 50 then. But you shouldn't be over about 140 degrees or 150 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
Okay? That's my guess anyway. But you're right. If you're having reliability, that's a problem. Hey, we're going to close the book on this one. That's it for this edition of Call for Help. If you've got a problem with your personal confuser, don't whine, don't moan, don't yell. Just
call for help.
See you next time.